And that knowing the time, and now it is high time to awaken out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. Romans 13:11. Blessings and greetings to you, my Father's children. As always, we're grateful and thankful for another opportunity to share the word of the Lord with you today. As I stated last year, that to commemorate my brother, Brother Amerigo Craft, Big Sleep, every year I plan to commemorate the day that he transitioned to his heavenly home. And June 19th was the day 5 years ago. And so we commemorate him, and we thank the Most High for having known him, and we cherish his memory. And in the way that he would do, we're going to talk today from 1 Corinthians 13. Anyone that knew Sleep knew that he was a man of great love, and so we're gonna teach today a little bit from 1 Corinthians 13, and it reads, "Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, I become as sounding brass or as a tinkling cymbal." In other words, if you're doing a lot of speaking but you don't have love, then your love or your speaking rather is just noise. It's the sounding brass. It's like a tinkling cymbal if you don't have love. So what you have to say isn't all that important unless it is colored with love, unless it is seasoned with love. And if it's not, then it's not important at all. Verse 2, "Though I have a gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith that I could remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing." See, what charity does, or what love does, is it removes pride. When you know that you are loved by the Most High, there's no room for pride. Pride and love don't go together. True love, that is. And so love takes away all your self-importance. If you have the gift of prophecy and you understand mysteries and you have a lot of understanding and a lot of knowledge, what love does is if you don't have it with love, or if you don't share it with love, then there's no purpose to it. There's a saying in my educational field. There's a saying that they don't care what you know until they know that you care. And so love is caring. Love is caring about what is learned. Love is caring about how you receive a person. How you speak and how what you say is received. And so if you have all of this knowledge, you have all of this understanding of great things, but you don't have love, then it's going to profit you nothing, because people won't care to hear you. Okay. So love ought to be the center of what we do when we teach, when we preach, when we minister. It should be done in love, not to show off or to expound upon your great knowledge, but to show genuine love. All right, verse 3, "And though I bestow my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not charity, it profit me nothing." So the vain glory, or having this idea that you are more noble or more pious than others, then you give your body to be burned. You're dedicated to your belief or your religion. If you do it and you don't have love, then it's nothing. It's nothing. So verse 4 gets into what charity does. Charity suffers long. Now, one thing about my brother Sleep, Brother Craft, and he suffered long with people. I mean, he if he was with you, he was with you up and down. Whether you were, he was with you. He was a long-suffering brother. I never knew him to be intemperate at all. I never knew him to be anything other than long-suffering. and he endured a lot, even in ministries and different things. People kind of overlooked him. Some people kind of judged him because of his size and different things like that. But you never saw him complain. You never heard him complain. He's a long suffering. He was the picture, the epitome of love personified. That was Brother Craft, and that's why we're doing this today. So charity suffered long, verse 4, and is kind. Again, kindness is a characteristic of love. Listen, charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, and is not puffed up. So charity, love, doesn't envy anybody else. When you love people and you love the Most High, and you know you're loved by Him, then there's no need to be competitive or have some sort of jealousy about anybody else. No. Charity doesn't envy it. It doesn't envy. It's not puffed up. It doesn't vaunt itself. People that are very selfish and full of pride, they're hard to love, and they are hard to love someone else. They themselves, they find it hard to love other people. But when you love God and you love Him, and you know that He loved you, then it's easy. It's easy to get under subjection and not to vaunt yourself up and to puff yourself up. All right, verse 5, does not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinking no evil. Okay, all characteristics of love. When people, saints of God, ought to be gentle, ought to not be easily provoked, not easily get upset. But when you love perfectly by the Most High, when you have that agape love, that filial, that love, the agape, the love of God, and the filial, yes, brotherly love as well, then you don't get easily upset. You don't get easily, why should I worry about you or worry about what other people have? I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for who I am, because I'm loved perfectly by the Most High. And because He's loved me perfectly, he's loved me in that way, then there's no need for me to be jealous or have any sort of envy or any of that sort of stuff. All right? Verse 6, it rejoices not in iniquity, but rejoices in the truth. Now, this is significant. When you love the Most High, you will love the truth. The Bible lets us know you will know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. The truth will make you free. But then we also know that our Most High, Yeshua, Jesus Himself, He is the truth. He is the way, the truth, and the life. So if you say you love the truth, you love Him because He is the truth. So they rejoice not in iniquity. There's when you're perfectly loved by the Most High, you don't rejoice in sin. Sin is any sin. Any sin is a great agitator to you. I know it is with me. I mean, you can hardly watch TV these days, anything on Netflix, without some sort of sin angle that they're trying to sell you with, whether it be the homosexual agenda or just fornication or adultery or drinking and idolatry and all kinds of illicit sex and all kinds of even things that hits the traditional saints, like overeating and overindulging in food and these sorts of things. That's it. When we don't rejoice in it, now we may struggle with it, and we struggle with it, but we don't rejoice in it. It rejoices not in lawlessness, rejoices not in iniquity, but rejoices in the truth. Okay, so it's real simple. There's two ways. There's God's way, and then there's your way. And so when we're loved by the Most High, we rejoice in His way and not in our way or the way of iniquity. Verse 7, beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Again, a characteristic of love is you're able to endure. My wife and I have been married over 26 years. And I'm telling you, to make any kind of marriage work, you have to endure. You have to, and you also have to believe. You have to believe the good in people, because you got to believe that the Most High will get His glory. When it says believe all things, it means believe that all things work together for good. Like Romans 8:28, all things work together for good for them that love the Lord and are the called according to His purpose. And yes, even believing that negative things will happen to you if you are not in uh, uh, you're not following in the ways of the Most High. So believes all things, meaning you believe God. God is the author and the finisher of all things. The Bible lets us know that Abram believed God. We find that first in Genesis 15. God blessed Abram. It says he believed, because Abram believed God. Abram believed the Most High, then it was counted to him as righteousness. And so belief in him is a characteristic of the love of the Most High and enduring all things. Verse 8, charity never faileth. Whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. But charity does not fail. Charity is the belief, or love is the one constant in our lives. It will not fail. It will not fail. If you love somebody the way God instructed us to love, then it will not fail. Love does not fail. Verse 9, for we know in part, we prophesy in part, that which is in part shall, we know in part, we prophesy in part. Verse 10, but that which is perfect is come, but when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. See, what we know is so minimum. What we know is just a sliver of time, a sliver. All we know is what we gather through our senses and this time, space continuum world that we're living in right now. But you just because you've learned a few things in your 40, 50 years of living, 60, 70, however many years of living, doesn't mean you know everything. And there's a tendency in the pride of man to feel like they know everything. But only the Most High is perfect. Only He has full knowledge of everything. And so when that which is perfect, or that which is mature, is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. Everything you know that you think you know is in part. Even if you learned everything you could learn, they say you only use 10% of your brain, but even if you use 100% of your brain 100% of the time, it's still only the sliver of time that you've been on this earth, which means you could learn fully to your full capacity. As a human being, you've learned your full capacity, but that is in part. It's still in part. But He, which is the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, He which was and is to come, who, I often say God, the Most High, walks into Himself coming from where He was going. He's just all the time God. So when He which is perfect or mature or the fullness of knowledge comes, then that which is in part is done away. In other words, when you come into an inkling of the knowledge of the Most High, and you realize that not only does He have all knowledge, but He loves us perfectly, then you put your little knowledge at the door. You set it down and you just worship. I know that's what I do. Whenever I get so puffed up in knowledge, and I think that I know something, all it takes is for a good prayer, for me to have a good prayer, and the Most High reveals to me just how small and minimum and insignificant I am. So He is the greatness. It is Him. It is He that made us, and not we ourselves. We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. And so these are things, when love comes into the picture, these things become very clear. And this is one of the things I appreciate about Brother Sleep, man. Sleep was that kind of fellow. He was an embodiment of God's love. Even right to the end, man. He was, the last time I saw him, he was struggling with his health, but then he was fussing at me about, things I need to do, and things that, that I need to do to sustain my life. And that's that selflessness. That's the kind of love that he had. Let's move on. Let's close this out. Verse 11, when I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child. I thought as a child but when I became a man, I put away childish things. Now there is a correlation between true godliness or true manhood and the fulfillment of love, or the understanding of love. You're not really a mature man or woman until you have a complete understanding of the love of God. And so when you have a complete understanding of love, or the love of the Most High, then you go from being a child into a man, and therefore you start to put away childish things like jealousy, childish things like envying, childish things like pride, like being puffed up, or self-importance, childish things like even your appetites, and trying to get all the women you can, or trying to get all the men you can, or dabbling in homosexuality, or whatever it is that you do. Those are all things that are childish. But when you become mature and you become a man, you put away these childish things. You put away pornography. You put away the drinking and the drug use. You put those things away. Verse 12. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know even as I am known. This is so powerful. See, what Paul is saying is that right now I'm seeing in part. I'm looking through a glass darkly. I'm seeing things from my perspective, from my carnal, worldly, 5 sense focused self perspective. But see, this is the writing. I love the writing of Paul. He captures the fact that there is a difference between where I am right now and where I'm going to be. And where I'm going to be, I know that I'm going to see things clearly. And look at how he says it. But then shall I know. Right now I know in part, but then shall I know even as I am known. What he's saying is that then shall I know as the Most High knows me. I will be able to see what all he saw. How he knows me, I will know what he was seeing. And so, the Most High really, I talked a lot about sleep, but really the Most High this is what he's talking about. He's the epitome of love. And 1 John 4 talks about that love. Let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone that loveth is born of God and knoweth God. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. The Most High, Yah, he is love. So when love comes into the picture, he will show you how and why he was so long suffering. What was the reason you didn't get killed at that point in your life when you were in the club or overdosing on drugs or whatever it was, or the case may be? He'll show you what his plan was, and you will know as you are known. You will no longer know in part, but you will know holistically, not just from the natural perspective, but from the spiritual perspective. You will know the plan of God, and that's some of the blessing. I think when we meet the Most High, we'll know him, and he as he knows us. Final verse 13. And now abideth faith, hope, and charity, these three. But the greatest of these is charity. The greatest of all is love. My brother showed it in his life. I'll never be the same. we love sleep because sleep loved us. And so, that's the impact that love has. You will be remembered even when you're gone. You will be remembered. And I pray that those that know me know that I love them. Even you, if I don't know you, I love you. That's what I'm doing these videos for. And I realize that these videos will last after I'm gone. And I pray that you feel the love of the Most High, because I've been loved by Him. And I believe you have been too. God bless you. This is Pastor Jenkins, the truth and nothing more. I do appreciate you. If you enjoyed the teaching, hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I encourage you to do that as well. I want to get as many subscribers as I can to share the word of the Lord with all of you. We love you. Be blessed. And until the next time.